Imagine, like champagne bubbles, talented and ambitious women are rising into senior leadership positions, now as effortlessly as men. In Rhode Island, 50% of executives are women, and there are more women in the pipeline. Wage equity is a fact of life. Family incomes are rising, and the economy is strengthening. How has this happened? Executives in Rhode Island organizations have widely implemented several proven practices. This imagined but very possible future describes two goals for Vision 2020 in Rhode Island. Welcome, and thank you for joining us this morning. I'm Susan Colantuno, CEO of Leading Women. Marcia Kone, CEO of the Women's Fund of Rhode Island, and I are honored to be Rhode Island's two delegates to Vision 2020. Vision 2020 is a national coalition of organizations and individuals united in their commitment to achieve women's economic and social equality. Vision 2020 works with delegates in all 50 states and national allies representing over 20 million women and girls. It was launched by the Institute for Women's Health and Leadership at Drexel University College of Medicine. Here's a brief introduction to Vision 2020 and its goals.
Throughout American history, the struggle for women's rights was long, sometimes violent, and always controversial. The most significant victory occurred in 1920, when the 19th Amendment to the Constitution made it possible for women to vote. It took several generations of women to reach this milestone, an achievement viewed by the early suffragists as the first step towards full equality for women in all aspects of American life. Since 1920, American women have continued to challenge and overcome barriers to gender equality. But the struggle is not over. Gender equality will only fully be realized when leadership is shared equally among women and men.
At present, our country needs women's idealism and determination, perhaps more in politics than anywhere else.
Despite the numerous gains made along the road to equality, women still hold on average only 18% of senior leadership positions across public and private professions. 3% of Fortune 500 companies have female CEOs. Less than 17% of U.S. Congress members are women. The Vision 2020 Campaign for Equality has 5 national goals to be achieved by the year 2020. Achieve pay equity so that equal pay for equal work will be the norm in America. Increase the number of women in senior leadership positions in American life to reflect the workforce talent pool and demographics. Educate employers about the value of policies and practices that enable men and women to share fairly their family responsibilities. Educate new generations of girls and boys to respect their differences and to act on the belief that America is at its best when leadership is shared and opportunities are open to all. And mobilize women in America to vote, with particular emphasis on a record-setting turnout in 2020, the centennial of the 19th Amendment.
Here in Rhode Island, we're focused on big, systemic, and statewide initiatives and measurable change. We've engaged over 50 women representing 40 organizations, and some of them are in the room with you today. This committee's work is focused on 2 of Vision 2020's goals: to increase the number of women in senior leadership positions and to advance women's economic security and achieve pay equity. These goals are important for our state and our nation because, as has been cited by the World Economic Forum's Gender Gap reports, there is a strong correlation between gender equality and a country's prosperity and economic competitiveness. To demonstrate measurable change, we've researched our baselines. When we began in 2010, 50% of Rhode Island corporations had no women corporate officers, and fewer women on their boards than the Fortune 500 average. Statewide, there was a 21-cent wage gap. We also conducted a survey to baseline organizational practices related to goal achievement, and Marcia will present these findings. Our goals for 2020 are that at major Rhode Island employers, at least 30% of their corporate officers will be women, and at least 30% of their directors. Statewide, we're driving for a wage gap of no more than 8 cents. And we very much look forward to your input on how to meet these goals.